Thank you. All right. Now we'll get on to the second meeting. We don't need another roll call, correct? No, we don't. Oh, we do, actually, because we have a secretary. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we're doing the roll call
The roll
for
call.
the January meeting. Jerry Roman,
Here.
Lou Vecchione, Jerry Silverstein, Linda Rudy, Stuart Davidoff is here, Marty Danowitz, Herb Goldstein. Sitting in for Jerry Israel is, I don't know the names. Dave Bailey, okay, and sitting in Jerry Markowitz, Beverly Rosendorf,
Here.
Richard Sherman, Harvey
Oh,
Sylvester.
you forgot Michael Reese.
I didn't finish.
Oh, okay.
Michael Reeve. Okay.
That was an alphabetical.
The general manager is Laura Kadori. Assistant general manager Susie McHugh. The social director is Lorette Ullman. Wait a minute. Parliamentary Marty Kay. Okay, Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you.
That's you. Okay, I gotta get an updated list. Okay, and Joel Clayman, apologize. Are you here? Okay, we still have a quorum. We're okay.
Stu, thank you, and I'm sure with practice you'll do much better.
I have it. Yeah, well, I have the old one from last year. I gotta get the updated.
I'd like to entertain a motion to waive the reading of the minutes of the December 19th meeting. Second? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I make a motion.
All in favor? Thank you. All right. I really have no report for this morning, considering the fact that nobody knew what the outcome, well, we hoped what the outcome would be, but, so this meeting will be very short. Next, we'll go for a treasurer's report from Linda Rudy.
Thank you, Jerry. This is the treasurer's report for the year ended December 31st, 2025. At the end of the year, there was $153,000 in operating funds, $482,000 in working capital. Our cafe funds were $4,000, which I'll just tell you is interest that was accumulated on the account because all of the cafe funds are dispersed by year end. Our reserve funds were $2,068,000. Other current assets were $144,000, of which the main element is $131,000 of prepaid insurance. Our total assets were $2,851,000. Current liabilities were $96,000, and those liabilities are mainly year-end accruals, like we accrue payroll for the last payroll of the year and so on. Our reserve funds were $2,068,000. Working capital, $482,000. The cafe fund liability was $4,000, and equity stood at $201,000, bringing total liabilities and equity to $2,851,000. I wanted to give everybody, can you save your, okay, go ahead.
Okay, the balance sheet that we were given, is there an updated one? Because our numbers aren't agreeing to what you're saying.
Well, are you looking specifically at the cafe script number or?
The current liabilities, you said it was how much?
$2,896,000.
Okay, and we're showing $71,395.
And you said 153,000 in operating funds, and I've got
Yeah, the
128.
operating funds was also.
Yeah, yeah.
No, well, hold. This is what we have. No, I have what you have. Let me, just one second. Yeah, sorry, the totals come out the same, so there's something that's between categories. Give me 1 second. 128,000.
Understood.
No, she gave out the right one. You know, I'm gonna tell you that's my mistake, so let me read you the numbers, the correct. Not the first time. But let me, actually, the financials you have in front of you are accurate. I'll just tell you, what I put into my spreadsheet that I read from is at 6:27 in the morning. The final financials are at 2:56 in the afternoon. So I didn't realize that I wasn't using the accurate number. So let's just revise a little bit. So the operating funds are $128,000. I'm going to tell you that in the cafe fund, the numbers I gave you, $4,000 is accurate, although you're looking at $29,000, and that's because we borrowed $25,000 from operating to put in the cafe fund, since the associations don't fully pay their cafe fund assessment at the very beginning of January, and we need to disperse funds from there. So just go with me on the $4,000. That other $25,000 is in operating. You know what? I think that might be the difference there. Is probably, if the difference between the two is $25,000, it's because I adjusted the operating cash and the cafe funds by $25,000 to account for the money that looks like it's in the cafe fund, but it's not really cafe money. Does everybody follow that, or that was too confusing? Yes. What you have in your balance sheet is where the funds really belonged. But what you want to notice is that the $25,000 appears in the cafe fund that really belongs to operating. We just borrowed it from operating and put it in cafe so that the early disbursements to the cafe operator in 2026 had cash in the bank to fund them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so that's why the offset to that was in liability, because the cafe owed operating. So that's why it's off. But the numbers I actually read you are correct numbers.
What happens to the interest that's in the account?
The interest that's in the cafe interest actually goes into the kitchen reserve just at various points during the year. We don't do it every single month. It's too small to move all the time. But that $4,000 does not get dispersed to the cafe operator. Any interest earned on the cafe funds stays with Coral Lakes. So we use it over the long term to put a little bit of extra money in our kitchen equipment reserve. Everybody okay with that? And I do apologize for that if I think I prepared this too many days ago to remember that I had done that. Okay for me to move on? Okay, thank you, and I apologize. So what I had wanted to do next is tell you how the year ended up. Normally at this time, I might say to you, this is what happened during the month, this was high, this was low, these were the exceptional items. But rather than doing that for a single month, I'd like to discuss Coral Lake's expenses as a whole for the year. And what you will find when you look at the income statement is that with our budget being close to $5.3 million, we were over budget by just under 1/2%. In other words, there was a loss for the year of $22,872. And so it's a small percent of the whole, but of course our goal is to always come out even, or hopefully in the black. But this year there were basically 5 categories of expense that caused us as a whole to go over budget by this amount. And I will tell you that any one of these line items could have been the whole amount that we went over budget, because a lot of them were right around the $20,000 mark. But when we've had challenges, what we always endeavor to do is, if you have an unexpected expense, in one place, we try to cut our expenses in another place. So for instance, there were 2 budget line items that were over budget for the year. one of them very significantly, that we couldn't avoid these expenses. One was the irrigation category, and it was over budget for the year by $65,000. But by cutting other expenses within the landscape category, such as landscape extras, our tree trimming expense and strapping expense was kept down for as much as possible. In the landscape category, we ended up being only $10,000 over budget for the year. So we were able to compensate for that overage by quite a bit. The other area that is a line item that's budgeted, but the expenses came in way higher than we had expected, was in the lakes section of the income statement. And in this case, there are at least 2 large lake erosion control repairs that had to be done that put us over budget by $29,000. And there isn't really a place to compensate for that, so the category ended up being over budget by $29,000. So those were the 2 expense categories that were really off from the amount that was budgeted due to unexpected complications. And I will just tell you, on irrigation, there are not only many lightning strikes, but there were also some large water pipe breaks that I'm sure all of you know. When you came to the clubhouse, the water had to be turned off, or the path, into the clubhouse was closed because they were repairing pipes. So those are items that were budgeted but were over budget for the year. There were also 3 line items that were unbudgeted and were unexpected for the year. And those were, one item was the Veterans Memorial. The Men's Club was kind enough to sponsor that and to donate funds towards it, but the funds did not completely cover the cost of it, so Coral Lakes also participated in that expense, but it was unbudgeted. There was also a grease trap rebuild to the tune of close to $20,000 that had to be done, that was absolutely not budgeted but could not be avoided. And then the other thing that we all benefited from, but it wasn't exactly planned, except the opportunity presented itself and it was too good to pass up, and that was getting the video wall, the new movie screen, and the projector for the theater. And those items, although they totaled between $60,000 and $70,000, we were actually able to absorb all of that in other budget line items where we spent less, except for $18,000. So you can see almost any one of those line items could have put us over budget. As I said, we ended up over budget by $22,872 for the year, but I just want to acknowledge that there was a lot of work put in by the backroom team and by the committee chairs and so on to really keep the costs as low as possible, given that we had both these challenges and these opportunities to improve our infrastructure where the money hadn't been budgeted. So, are there any questions about that?
Yeah, I do. There's also a large overage in, where was it, in pool maintenance and spa for like $50-odd thousand.
Just one second.
58,000. Count 7440.
Yeah, I have reported on those extras as they came up through the year. I don't have any particular items here because it was regular maintenance, and in the category as a whole, it kind of absorbed it. So I didn't really call those out, but obviously we're seeing that when they do certain repairs, the part of the pool that we reserve are the heaters and chillers and the diamond brighting. But if the pump goes bad, or there are water leaks, or there are other work that has to be done at the pools, that is the line item where it shows up. So I didn't call it out at year end because if you go month by month throughout the year, you'll see that it generally ran over budget for the year.
Linda,
Yes.
did the pool maintenance include the new railings and the construction of the railings and the emptying of all the water? It was a lot of work involved.
Right, that was part of the expense that is showing up on that line item, but off the top of my head, I'm thinking it was around maybe $10,000, and we had a budget for pool maintenance each month. So it was mentioned in the months when it happened, but not called out as throwing us off for the year. I will tell you that there is, I think, one or two more of those projects that will be done in 2026, and those dollars were specifically budgeted next year now that we knew that we're doing it.
The other question I have is, why was payroll so under budget?
Actually, so what I'll tell you is there was a successful effort to, when somebody left the crew, to not necessarily, well, number one, when somebody left, the person they were replaced with was somebody that came in at a lower salary. So that's number one. Number two, I believe that out of several people that left, not every headcount was replaced, so that's number two. Number three is that there was one employee that left that was replaced with a contractor, which is a little bit less expensive for Coral Lakes, and the number of hours that the person is employed was kept at a minimum. And I think that basically covers most of it. There were a variety of factors, but in total, they ended up having a positive impact on payroll itself. And I will tell you, in the coming year for 2026, those changes are reflected in the new budget for next year. So we didn't have to budget as much for payroll next year as we did this year for the same people, other than, you know, regular salary increases and so on. Herb?
Hi, Linda. The Holiday Light contract, it seems to me that they increased the contract by 6 times. Why?
6 times.
Yeah, well, the budget is 3,000 and...
Okay, well, let me actually, Herb, if you don't mind, I'm going to refer you to the year-to-date numbers. And what I'll tell you is we budgeted $36,500, but the year-to-date total ended up at $39,000. So there's 2 factors at play. Number one of the things you're looking at in the single month is simply the second half of the contract that paid out. Maybe that was recognized in December. But when we budgeted for the holiday lights, remember we budgeted it in October of 2024 for 2025. And the contract expired during 2025, and so the renewed contract was the $39,000 versus the $36,500. So I'm actually okay with those numbers, you know, if that makes sense to you.
Definitely.
Okay. Other questions? Okay. Well, that does complete the treasurer's report, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Linda. That was a great report, and you amaze me that you have all the answers right there. Great recall. Okay, we'll go on to the general manager's report. Laurel, please.
Mr. President, Master Board of Directors 2026, and community at large, good morning. Let us usher in 2026. Wishes with a healthy, happy, and productive year. Our sincere gratitude goes to the 14 directors of the 2025 Master Board, as well as the parliamentarian for your dedicated service. Often the hard work, resilience, determination, and sacrifices of board members go unrecognized. Please know that your achievements have truly made a difference here at Coral Lakes. Many of you will continue on serving on the 2026 Master Board, a very commendable choice. I'd like to thank and recognize Debbie Eisenstein for her service on the 2025, and many years actually, for service on the Master Board and your continued hard work. So many sweats and tears, and commendable, commendable job. And also, some of you may or may not know, but Jerry Markowitz, and I did receive okay to mention this, Jerry Israel put in his resignation last Tuesday for both the Regency Cove Board and for the Master Board. And we just want to thank him for his valuable service and dedication to the Master Board. And Jerry Markowitz has been appointed and will be voted in the next Master Board, Regency Cove Board meeting, if that hasn't occurred already, will be voted in as the Master Board representative, along with Aaron Kletzkin from representing Regency Cove. So welcome, Jerry Markowitz. as a new board member of 2026. And also, Michael Reese is new to the board, and we want to thank Michael Reese and welcome him to the Master Board as well for 2026, representing Royal Landings. Thank you, Michael. This volunteer service on the board, as much as that there's, we're all paid employees, but the 14 and 15 of you are volunteers, and I don't know, that is, oh boy. I really want to recognize you publicly in the forum here in the Master Board, and that it's recorded, that the 14 board members, each one individually, should be recognized, one for volunteering for the community service, putting themselves in this situation, and doing their best in the fiduciary services and service to the community. A lot of recognition, respect, and appreciation for everything you do. And Jerry Roman, stellar. And to all of you. If I go through all of them, I'm going to get in trouble. So, Omer Weinkert, Israeli hostages, to speak next week on Sunday, January 25th. Lorette will speak more about it. He will describe how faith, love, and knowledge that his family was fighting for him sustained him. His story is a source of strength, and his personal testimony of survival and strength is quite moving. It's also a part of his own healing process. But mostly we bear witness, ensuring the story is not forgotten. It's a human story. Omer's firsthand story includes the events of October 7th, never forgotten and never again. Ultimately, hearing a hostage's personal story reinforces the belief in the sanctity of life and the importance of communal responsibility to care for those in captivity, which is a deeply held value in all our traditions. I'd like to mention that the claim that it's open to the public is false, and also that some people may think that the lecture is expensive, and there have been many rumors, not particularly friendly rumors, about individuals keeping monies instead of giving it to the presenter, and they are untrue and false. The costs are simply a part of running the program. Hopefully everyone can find a way to attend and benefit from this valuable and unique opportunity. Regarding bocce and parking lot, activities were quiet for a little bit during the holiday period, but activities have resumed. And with that, I respectfully submit this report. Thank you.
Thank you. Go on to the social director's report. Lorette?
Can you hear me? Okay. Mr. President, Master Board of Directors, Coral Lakes residents, good morning. The holidays are over, so let's start this new year and get back in the swing of things. I'd like to start by thanking everyone who came to the expo. It was a new date, and I really was happy with the amount of traffic. Tomorrow we have our first show in the Touch of Class season, Three Redneck Tanners. The Three Redneck Tanners are a new breed of tanner genre. I'm not going to go in the whole. You get the gist of it. Their musical comedy featuring classically trained veteran artists is like Blue Collar Comedy Tour goes to Carnegie Hall. Down-home laughs with big city music. It has been said that if Larry the Cable Guy, Il Divo, and Mrs. Doubtfire had a baby, that would be the Three Redneck Tenors. Should be fun. The always popular Bronx Wanderers will be here on Sunday, January 18th. Everyone always enjoys them. Tickets are still available, very limited amount of tickets available. Tuesday, January 20th, we have our health fair presented by Coral Lakes and Body Wellness. It's a fun morning of freebies, information, and relevant vendors open to all Coral Lakes residents. Saturday, January 24th, we have our Rock of Ages show, Turnstiles. It is the Billy Joel tribute band. On Sunday, as Laurel mentioned, January 25th at 1 p.m., we welcome Omer Weinkert from Darkness to Light. I'm sorry, I get a little choked up about this event, so I'll just say it's important to hear the story firsthand. Listening to him is an act of profound empathy and will give us a collective strength and wisdom. I'm sorry. I highly recommend you come out and hear this resilient human being. Pardon me. Okay. Also on Sunday, we have Scott Record. Scott is way more than a funny guy. He's also a consummate entertainer. If you've never experienced a Scott Record show, you'll be missing out on something special. Tickets for both are still available at the box office and online. And with that, I want to wish everyone a happy 2026. See you at the clubhouse.
Thank you, Lorette. Is there any other old business that we have to go over? I don't believe so. And I don't believe there's any new business coming before the board today. Are there any other general board comments?
I have a question regarding the gates. Does the gate company keep spare parts for ours on? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Are there any other board comments? If not, the floor is open.
Yeah. Okay. Leslie Schwartz from Regency Cove North. Thank you. Thank you. Herb, you mentioned something about the gates being spare parts. I think we should get a new company. We were all up in arms and over at Regency Cove North because the gates are always open. No, I know Susie said we're not a secured community, but I feel that with gates, it presents a secured community. Okay, and I think we should go after a new company, and I will be the person who could maybe go after the new company. I don't mind being in charge or going after people, but at a timely manner, and I think we should get a new company. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm sure it's not just our community at North, and I know South has problems. I'm sure other areas have the gates open. And, I mean, I don't ride around constantly looking for gate problems. I really don't. I have enough problems of my own. But I think we should get a new company.
Thank you, Leslie.
Do I hear any comments?
No, it'll be,
Come on.
no, you won't get comments from the board because we will look into it.
So you agree? And no comments means that you agree with whatever I say.
But we're not going to open an open forum here at the meeting.
No, I'm just asking that you will look into it and get back to me
We will look into it.
within
We
a
will-
timely manner?
Or
Or within months?
You'll be apprised of the results.
Okay.
Okay, I am also in Regency Cove North, Robin Kivovitz. And I brought this up,
Excuse me, your name again?
Robin Kivovitz, K-I-V-O-V-I-T-Z, Regency Cove North. And I think I've come up to the mic only once in the 10 years that I'm here. So I brought it up at the Regency Cove meeting. The lake is flooded with garbage and debris. I bought on the lake because a beautiful view. And for the past 2 months, I've seen garbage, plastic bags, plastic water bottles, the caps to the water bottles, and other such debris. It's really unsightly. It's not good for the fish in the lakes. And I'm just wondering if anyone is responsible for maintaining the lakes.
Yes, there is a company that's responsible for maintaining the lakes, but what you're describing is something that we'll have to deal with our own people. If is this along the shoreline that you're saying
Yes,
this?
yes. And I like to walk along the shoreline, so I notice it. And I would say in the past 2 years, the problem has gotten worse.
All right, we appreciate your comments, and Laurel, can we get, thank you.
Okay. The other thing I just wanted to ask is, why doesn't the board read the meetings from the previous, the minutes from the previous meeting? Mistakes can be made. How would we know that everything there is accurate?
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, the reading of the minutes is a board issue, correct? I mean, it's for the board.
Yes, but it's corrected at that meeting.
It's corrected at the meeting. It's not, it pertains to the board, not to the audience.
Correct.
Okay, well, so that's not something that could be brought up. I served on a board.
The minutes, by the way, once they are approved, they're online, they're on the website.
Okay,
So
I
anybody-
did not know that.
Anybody can look at, previous meeting minutes.
Okay.
They're all listed there.
Okay, I did not know that. Thank you.
By the way, if you go onto the, website, there's a lot of information on there, both for your community and for Coral
Okay.
Lakes as a whole.
Thank you.
Good morning, Lane Polikoff, Regal Shores, Building 11. Thank you all for what you do. You have a really hard job, but I want to talk about that $22,000. 1% is 1.5% is 1.5% too much, but we do have a little bit of fluff in the budget, and that's one of the things I want to talk about. And I believe the line item for the lighting is $10,000. If we're not spending $10,000 a year on lighting, our deficit would have only been $12,000 last year, not $22,000. I believe that we don't really need that fluff. Our costs are going up and up and up every year. They're really pretty. I mean, it's really pretty. But $10,000 could be pulled from that budget, put into contingency, so that we have that money for a repair or for something else, so it's not going to pretty. We've got a beautiful, beautiful community. We have beautiful entrances. We spend a lot of money on landscaping. But those lights, that $10,000, could certainly, especially hearing $22,000, it's not a lot, but as a former business owner, 1.5% off at the end of the year drove me crazy. I had to find ways to correct it. Me, easy. Pull the fluff out of the budget. That $10,000 doesn't need to be spent on lighting. It could be used to fix repairs, for pools, for park, whatever it needs. But right now, I believe it should. You have time to pull it. I don't know if we have a contract, but that money could be used for contingency so we don't run over for the following year.
Thank you for your comments. If you don't mind me responding, I just want to start off by saying we were over budget by actually 1/2 of 1%. It was actually 0.0049%, but I know that's not your point.
Right.
I will tell you, though, that I hear you about the lighting, and we will take that into consideration. However, we are under contract for the lighting, so that would be a long-term solution, number one.
How long is that contract for?
It's a 3-year contract. I believe we're in the first year now, so there are 2 more years. Secondly, I'll just let you know that we actually do the budgeting as a zero-based budget, so we always start from nothing. We're not allowed to have contingency funds, so we do our best to make the budgets exactly what the expense will be, plus budget for unexpected expenses, which clearly there was, a miss to that extent this year. But thank you for your comments.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And really, the lights are beautiful. But when I hear that, when I see the costs going up and I see the lights going up and I think I could do my own lighting or we could see lighting as we're driving by, I just think that's something where we could save a little money.
Okay, thank you.
My name's Lou Dunn.
Excuse me,
What? I'm up here to really tell how disappointed I am in the cafe. It is run not well, but I want to tell you, last week we had lunch. We got there, or breakfast, we got there at 10:30. We sat, and we sat. Lance pulled our waitress. No one told us. We had to walk out. We did not pay. We didn't have a waitress to pay for anything. We did go next day and pay because we had to get out of there. It is not run. He has all these waitresses that have no idea what's going on. 'Cause what's he do? Go out on the street and pick them up? I mean, this is ridiculous. You have dinners, they get canceled. People don't want to go. My husband, I can't get him to come here for dinner or lunch. We've got to do something about the running of that cafe. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Are there any other comments or concerns? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting. All in favor? I thank you all for coming, and look forward to seeing you next month.
Good job, my friend.
Thank you.